Hey everyone, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode here at the Portcast. Today we have a very special guest with us today, and he's going to talk about his organization and all the positive things that they're doing here in the city. Do you mind introducing yourself?
My name is Jasper Dudley.
Okay, and where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from Bridgeport. I grew up in Bridgeport.
Okay,
And then later moved to New Haven.
okay. And we met through a mutual friend, and we exchanged our contact information. You gave me your business card, I
Right.
gave you mine. And your business card was pretty much like any other business card except for the back of it. And do you mind reading the back of it for me?
Of course.
Yeah.
On the back of the card is 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Okay, and what's the relationship between that and your story?
My story is I was incarcerated for a period of time. I've been in and out of prison since the age of 16. I never had a full year on being free. So I came up with a vision. I wanted to change my life. So I had a vision of changing my life and changing other men's life that was in the same position that I was once in.
Okay, and back then, in your mind, at the time, your actions, what was the reason for those things?
For my cause of incarceration,
Yes.
I was selling drugs, doing robberies, doing a little bit of any and everything to get money at the time.
Okay. And did you ever think about the consequences of your actions and how it affect you, your family, and the victims at that time?
At the time, no, because like the card said, I was thinking as a child. I didn't grow up mentally, I believe, and I was still in a child state of mind. So I needed to change that. And in order to change the man, you have to change the mindset of thinking. And that was the vision that I had.
Okay. And how long did you do in prison? How much time?
I did 10 years on one bid. I've been in and out of prison. In total on the revolving door, I say, out of my 57 years of living, I did maybe close to 30.
Okay. And so your first stint in prison, how much time was that?
I did 7 years.
Do you remember what that was like when a judge gave you 7 years? How did you feel?
Actually, back then it was like a shock. Judges wasn't giving out that much time at that time. It was only 10%, but it was a big bid for the crime that I had committed.
Okay. And do you remember your first night in prison?
Oh yes, I was scared out of my life. I was afraid. I was in a place that I knew I couldn't leave. It was definitely a shock.
Okay. And how did you utilize your time in prison?
Well, my first bid, I didn't utilize my time. I still treated the time just like I was when I was on the street. I was young. Thought I knew everything, did everything. So the first bid really didn't do anything.
Okay. And so at some point in time, you made a decision to change your life around. Do you remember that day, and what was it that wanted you to change?
Well, actually, my last bid I got sentenced to 40 years. I ended up doing 10 years off of it. But the time that I was in there, I couldn't accept the time that I had gotten. So I worked on me. I worked on my mental capacity of thinking, of what I wanted to do. I just had to change myself. So I took on any program that was available to me. And I just moved in that avenue that I just want to change in my life. And that's what I did. Eventually, I got my case overturned. I came home. I still didn't learn. But as time went on, I seen that I needed to change. And that's what I did.
Okay.
I made a change.
And so after you pay your debt to society, you came home and you started a organization. So let's talk about your organization.
Well, my organization started after I got my pardon. I worked hard. I stayed out of trouble. I had got a pardon. After I got a pardon, I was still dipping and dabbing in the streets because we all need money. That's how we live. So I still was in and out of the streets, but I made a conscious decision that I was going to stay on the road of change. And I had a vision. I was sleeping. I had a vision that I wanted to help men. to be able to overcome those fears of change, because a lot of us have fears of over change, and it overshadows our thinking. So I wanted to help men to change that process of thinking, of change. So that's where it developed from Quicksand to Solid Ground, because someone helped me, and I want to help someone.
Okay, and why the name Quicksand Unto Solid Ground?
Because the name is very unique. And the reason why I came up with from Quicksand to Solid Ground, because when you're out there and you're doing wrong, you're blind. And you're sinking and you don't even know you're sinking until someone lends a hand to pull you out of that quicksand.
Okay. And you can be doing 100 other things with your family and with yourself. Why did you choose to help others? What's the gratification for you?
To see someone make it, someone not to go through what I went through. All the heartache. I lost loved ones. I lost time out of my life. I lost time out of my kids' life, broken relationships with my kids, trying to mend them back. And it still is hard work, but I'm putting them back together, and it takes time. So I'm trying to prevent another person from going through what I went through.
Okay, and what's the goal of your organization?
To help men that's coming home from incarceration or formerly incarcerated, to get them to be a positive citizen in society, to develop their thinking, or the way of thinking. That's our main goal, to develop a different way of thinking. Because if I could change your thinking, I can change the person.
Okay, and what other services do your organization also offer?
Job training, mental health services. We have a wide range of services that we offer to people that's coming to the program. We have anywhere from 30 to 60, and it's even up to 100 men that come to the meeting. We have wide range all the way down to Philadelphia. We here in Bridgeport, we have men come from New Haven, Stanford. We have them from everywhere that comes to the meeting, and it's still growing.
And you said that you got a pardon. Why is it that a lot of people who did time feel that they can't get a pardon?
Because they don't know. You can do it. All you have to do is stay out of trouble. Develop yourself and work on yourself, and it'll come. Right now is the best time to try to get a pardon, because everything is reformed. And that's a part of what we're doing. We're trying to reform the person, and we're starting with the mind.
Okay. And how long have your organization been established?
We're fairly new.
Okay.
We haven't been even in the existence over a year, and we accomplished more with our program than a lot of programs accomplish in the short period that we have been together. Like I said, we're still growing. We have anywhere from 30, 60, up to 100 men that come to the meeting, and we're still growing.
You know, I've talked to a few people who started their own nonprofit organization to give back to the community, and everyone has the same story in terms of it came to them in a dream.
Right.
I think that's amazing how it just come to you in a dream.
It came to me in a dream because I was tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of doing the same thing and getting the same results. So sometime when you at your peace, you're sleeping. You're at your peace, and that's when it came to me. That I wanted to make that conscious decision that that's the road I want to stay on. And I feel it was the Lord that spoke to me, because it's working and it's moving in that area. It's growing so fast that sometimes I sit back and I look at it in disbelief, like, wow, this is really working. To see the shirts and see the men wear the shirts, men that come to the program, they feel the realness to the program. I'm gonna invite anyone that's out there. We meet every other Wednesday to come to our program. It's on Beer Street, 32 Beer Street in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We would love to have you. I post it on the Instagram every other week. It's on my Instagram and Facebook. It's on Facebook under Jasper Dudley from Quicksand to Solid Ground. And I always post a flyer when we're having a meeting. I brought some men, and I would like for you to hear their stories. They're awesome men. They're men that's dedicated to what they're doing. They believe in what they're doing. And we fight in this fight because we want to reach the mass. We want to reach back to our communities and grab people just like us. We can make it, and we're the model. So if we can make it, you can make it.
My name is Kim Finney. You know, I'm a member of from Quicksand Unto Solid Ground. You know, I'm recently, well, I consider recently a little bit over a year released from prison. You know, but God is blessing me to be a part of this program. God has blessed me in my private life to, you know, to achieve and have things that I thought was unachievable, you know, and keeping God first. And when you talk about vision with our founder and, you know, my mentor and, you know, not just only the leader of us, like my brother, you know what I'm saying? Like when we was in the streets, doing dirt and doing stuff. So now we together as a unit, you know, doing positive. Like that feels great, you know what I'm saying? And I had a dream of a program, but I didn't know how to go about it. So now I come out and I see my brother doing this and I'm just so happy and overjoyed to be a part of the program. And not just only having, you know, Jasper as the leader, like, of course y'all gonna see, you know, another OG mentor of mine that knows my mom and family, you know, Brother Henry Webb, you know? And like, that's overjoying to me, like, because the program is like, it's family, not just the men there, it's really family to me. Like to have these people leading and, you know, I'm going and it's helping us in so much direction. We have so much people there, like from every different walks of life, you know? So I think the authenticness of us as individuals from being in the streets and doing the things we did do to see how God can change you. You know what I'm saying? To see how you can do better for the community itself from all the wrong we did. And if any time is needed now, it's definitely needed now because these kids are lost and they need us because the mothers can't do it, man. So the men gotta do it, you know? So, you know, I'm just happy to be, you know, home with a clear mind and, you know, the big brothers are keeping me intact because it came to a point like, you know, I feel like I've been living a pretty good life being home where you could kind of start swaying to the left and right, but you could call them at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're going to check, they're going to make sure you're good, and they're not going to let you sway to the left, sway to the right. They're going to keep you going straight, and I'm thankful for that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just very thankful to be a part of the program. It's an extreme blessing, man. The guys in there, the things that you see in the program, like, it's amazing. You know, that we changing really the game of men, like where you can show your emotion and people gonna be there for you. Like the hardest dudes, the killers. You know, that had life in jail. Dudes that had all of this time in jail from doing all this stuff in the street. These dudes are hugging and embracing each other and helping people with their kids, man. That's what the program is about, you know? And I'm excited. I don't know if you see this excitement, you hear, I'm excited, man, because we're going places and it's just a blessing, man, you know?
My name is Henry Webb and a longtime resident of Father Panic Village. Born and raised, that's all I know. I don't know nothing else but FPV and my raising up in a project like that, you know. And this is so awesome what we're trying to do now to get our message across to people that are out there that cannot get this type of message, get this type of hope, you know, of a change in your lives. And you need to have an example in front of you. You know, and especially when it comes to men, you know, because, you know, we as men sometimes, you know, we keep stuff inside. We don't like to deal with it, you know, but this organization from Quicksand to Solid Ground, it brings so much up out of us, you know, that we can be honest, we can cry, we can hug one another, and you know, it's so awesome. My words cannot explain how deep this program is, and I'm so glad that I'm a part of it. Because in 1995, I went to the Million Man March, And these was men standing on the mall. And I was right there on that mall in 1995. And since then, my life has never been the same. And that's why I can't thank Quicksand Unto Solid Ground for allowing me this opportunity to speak and to help young men out there and men in general to be there for them, whatever crisis they may be going through. Because sometimes, you know, we as men don't want to open up and share our life experience or what's really going on. But, you know, like my friend Jasper, our co-founder, you know, had this vision. So that vision that he had me in that vision, because I'm here with him. You know, and it makes me feel so good that I was in that vision with him, because when he asked me to be a part of this vision, I told him I'm committed. You know, and that's one thing we as men don't do. We don't commit ourselves to change. You know, we start something and then the next thing you know, we just stop, you know, dealing with situations when we need to continue to water the flower that is growing. You know, because I'm also a person who received a pardon. I received a pardon back in 2010. But after I received that pardon, I not only received the pardon, but I'm on the pardon board now as I speak. So I'm a prime example to those guys who are coming home from prison or already home that wants to get a pardon, because I'm on the pardon board. And it makes me feel so good inside to be able to help a man get to where he need to be, because so many of us have gotten doors shut in our face because of our record, because of why, you know, we can't go get this job, or we can't buy a house, or we can't get credit because we have a record. So, you know, by me getting this pardon and me getting on the pardon board, it just means so much to me. And I would do anything, you know, to help another man to receive what I have received, because I can't keep it unless I give it away.
There's like the Louis Rios. All my friends and family call me Louis. I've been knowing the founder, Jasper, since we were kids. I met him, I think I was 15, 16 years old. And our meeting was a unique one. And, you know, our lives used to cross here and there. We'd see each other. I'm similar to him. I've been going in and out of jail since I was 12 years old. Never been on the street for a whole year straight. The longest I've been on the street was 8 months, from 91 to 92. I did multiple bids of incarceration. I was one of them kids that never believed in working, loved the streets, didn't understand what the essence of a unified family was about. Because I cherished the streets more than I cherished anything else. So, years passed, I just got out of being incarcerated, and then I went to jail in 94. I got caught up with the Latin King case back then. They gave me triple life in 20 years. I did 26 and a half years in the federal system. I got a compassionate release through Trump. And I'm here today. The rest of my co-defendants are still in there fighting. Been incarcerated since 94. They're going on almost 30 years, 29 years next month. There'll be a lot of them still in there. When I came home, I had some experiences that shook me, because after doing so much time, I was released to Ohio, and and on 2 different occasions, I called and begged my probation officer to send me back, because I wasn't used to life on the streets. As I've been in that criminal mindset my whole life, that I only knew that. My energy I used to take, and I used to put it to a purpose that wasn't a purpose at all. Because I did all of that and wasted my whole life. And as the man I am today, because I'm in my 50s, you know, I'll be 55 years old next month. Where was my benefits at? So when I finally woke up and started adjusting myself to society, And I had a real awakening in self because I educated myself in jail. I read every day. You know, I taught myself politics, religion, and anything what have you. I did what mostly men do. You know, because I had an old man tell me one day, I used to play chess with him all the time. He said, yo, Louis, you know, the laws are changing. I used to be, man, I'm going to die in jail. I don't want to hear about no laws changing. It ain't going to apply to me. I'm never going to get out. I know I'm guilty. So he was like, no, don't ever feel that way. He said, man, do the programs. Because when the time comes and you're not prepared, your record is going to speak for you. Not your mouth. Your mouth ain't going to mean nothing to them. It's what you did with your incarceration. So that woke me up. That gave me a push that I never had. And a lot of things happened to me while I was incarcerated. I met a chaplain once, and this chaplain told me, his name was Pat Patterson, I'll never forget him. And he always told me, Louis, when are you gonna change? And I told him, what you mean when I'm gonna change, man, you know? I said, man, life is a cycle of sameness. Everybody repeats the same thing. It's just different people doing it. He said, yeah, life might be like that, but when are you gonna walk out of that pattern and let God take you where you wanna go? Now, I'm not into religion. I believe in the essence and the spirit of God, but I don't believe in religion. So, you know, I used to go to him because I used to talk to him like a man. And I just looked at him. He said, man, step out of that pattern, out of that cycle, and see where your life take you. Why you've never done that? I just looked at him. It was the simplest, most endearing words I've heard in my life. And that posed another change in my life. You know, that was a strong message that hit me harder than you could have shot me in the face if you'd asked me, you know? Because when I was living the lifestyle of being incarcerated, all you think about is three things. You're miserable, you want to get high to get out your misery, and what you got to do in chasing jail to get the money to accomplish that goal. Cut everybody off. I don't want to talk to nobody because I used to not like picking up the phone and hearing how happy you were. Man, I'm not happy. Why want to hear how happy you are? I'm in here miserable, walking in this tension-filled atmosphere that everybody knows in stasis. It stays the same after doing 10, 15, 20 years. There's no change in jail. It's always the same thing. You're doing it with the same people, everybody chasing the same hustle with the little 1,200 people, 1,100 people that you're around. There's no change. So, and then you wondering if today or tomorrow will be my last. So, when I was finally released, I couldn't believe it. I never thought I would have the chance to get out. So when I did, I started going back to my old friends. Remember, my mind still set as a young man. I remember everybody with young faces. My mentality was still stuck in 94. So when I'm looking for these individuals, and a lot of them disappeared. Either they moved out of state, they incarcerated, a lot of them passed away. So then I finally was looking for one of my old friends, which is Gasper. So I always knew in my heart that all my negative, destructive behaviors, I had to change myself because I had to get back. And when I found him, I started at the beginning. We was talking, he told me, listen, I'm about to start this organization from Quicksand Unto Solid Ground, and I need a positive individual like you. You know, he knows my story because we'll sit there, we should talk for hours. And he heard my breakdown, like I'm doing a little bit right here. And I said, you know what, I would love to share and give because if I can catch one child, that's right, not to go through what I went through in life, that's right, not to feel that crushing pain and heartfelt misery that one feels, then you know what? I did my life journey, man. I accomplished something in my life. So when I get onto solid ground and I start talking to these men who walk the same path as me, and a lot of times men don't like to express themselves because, you know, men, we're prideful. You know, our hearts are still, you know, we want to maintain our young reps so bad. But as an older man, knowing that it's the young generation's turn, we don't have the strong energy that they have today. But what we acquired is our wisdom and our walk of life to get forth and show the positiveness of who we trying to reach out to. When I talk to, brothers like Brother Block, and he's an advocate of going onto the streets and talking to these kids, and he's been doing it for so long, I'm encouraged. Because I seen that this man came from the same thing. I grew up in the Greens. Well, we lived in Marine Apartments. You know what I'm saying? Grew up in the projects like any other young man. I know what the inner city is about. I know what that grinding mentality is built for. So now I have to have a different mentality. I have to be on my grown man time. And what does that encompass for me? So when I get around these men from Quicksand Solid Ground, and a lot of them be trying to express themselves, I understand what they try to say, even though sometimes they can't express it. Because sometimes you get so, built up with that, and you want to let it out, but sometimes you can't find the words and you stay stuck. But you know what? I'm one that I can express myself. So I know how to let it out. I know how to talk to people. I know how to gauge a person for who they are. And I look forward when it's my time to share my new glory unto the next man that wishes to receive what I have. I'm not coming to you preaching. I'm not coming to you, trying to say I'm giving you a gift. What I'm doing is laying upon you the knowledge and understanding of what I have. And it's on to you to grasp it and bring it to yourself and walk it. You understand? That is our purpose for Quicksand Unto Solid Ground. We want to give. We want to help. All we can do is try. Our hands are here to grasp, to hold. We're here with our openness. It's on you, those that are you out there, to come seek it. You're going to have to want this.
So with that being said, we would like to invite you to our meeting. It starts every other Wednesday. We'll be sending out flyers. It'll be all over the Facebook and Instagram. And every time we close with this. Everything you need,
Everything you need
is in the room.
is in the room.
Everything you need,
Everything you need
is in the room.
is in the room.
Everything you need,
Everything you need
is in the room.
is in the room.
And it's power in the room. And I want you to believe that. Have a good day.
Blessings.